Welcome back to the Totally Legitimate Business Podcast, where we are keeping it entirely legit. Clint, tell me how you're doing, bub.
Bob, I'm doing okay. It's a lovely rainy day in Seattle, just like every day. So
Yeah.
it's been nice. I woke up and put on gym shorts this morning, and they're still on. So that's the kind of Sunday I'm having, bud.
All right, sounds like a great Sunday.
What's going down with you, bud? How's your weekend?
It's pretty good. Just, chugging away at things. The work never seems to end. So just working on. Everybody's working for the weekend. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
It's
and
just
chugging
like
along, just chugging the big old dick of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. We got some cool stuff going on. We can get down to business.
Let's get down to business. We got a bunch of interesting things going on. What we don't need to talk about, maybe we do need to talk about work on the weekends, but it's fine. Let's get to that. What's on your mind? Let's hear
let's working on the weekends, like your side hustle, because I can talk about that shit all fucking day. I don't know if it's really a hustle. I don't pay the bills, but
well, we're hustling. We're putting in a lot of effort. I don't know if it's paying the bills, but we're doing the work.
Well, out here working. But for anybody who doesn't know, James and I run a DIY label called Modern Grievance. A lot of Seattle-based artists, like where I'm at. It's got, music that we've put out, all kinds of stuff. And 2023 is going to be a wild year because we've already got a bunch of shit lined up, which is like, bless up, like that shit's never happened before. And like, we're not in all the bands. So it's like, it's dope. People are like, oh, you do this? Can you put this out? I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's fucking go. We're going to announce this week. We're going to physically press for the first time, both albums from Nuclear Dudes, which is give it up for Nuclear Dudes. It's like a super sick solo project from John, who plays in the band Sandrider. If anybody's kind of in that like stoner rock world, they make some noise out there, and he just started making weird music over COVID, and it's like real cyber grind, weird stuff. And it's actually like, it's super sick. Like, it's really heavy at parts. It's really like synthy. It's like a post-apocalyptic, like Terminator world that is has a sense of humor, but is also just like pretty banging. But I think we got the video for A Man of Great Comfort, don't we?
We sure do. We got it queued up right here.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
All right, here we go, dudes. Nuclear Dudes presents A Man of Great Comfort.
Oh yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, dude, there's just a little taste. He's got some, all of them they're a little grindy. A lot of them are really, really short, but dude, there's some like super cool parts at both albums. So we did 50 of each tape. They look sick as fuck. It's like some really like wild, how I feel about AI art, but there's some really cool shit on the inside of those that one of his buddies like came up with. And yeah, super stoked to put that out. It's gonna be the first Modern Grievance releases of 2023, and that'll put us up to 17. So if you haven't checked it out, we got a bunch of albums we've put out in the last couple of years. So this year's going to be real dope.
Clint, would you have ever thought 10 or 15 years ago that we would have a record label? Isn't it just really funny? Isn't that funny that we do that now?
Well, dude, it's like, it's not even like that you would think that, right? Because 10 or 15 years ago, I didn't think about shit like that. Or maybe I did. Like, I was like, oh,
I
I want
mean,
to play music.
we kind of did, but we
But
weren't fully organized.
But think about the tools that are available to the mass public to do anything that you want to do that we didn't have 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I would have had all the shit that I have at my fingertips now when I was like 15, I would have so many more like creative projects done. But like back
Sure.
in the day,
Yeah.
you really had to like hustle for it or know somebody or do whatever. But now it's like, oh, like I can't do art or graphic design. Now you can literally like download Canva and like place logos on shit like, for
Or,
free.
I mean, even just scroll through Instagram until you find an artist who's selling something. Like just the utility of being able
Totally.
to sift through communities of art. The
Yeah.
internet. I mean, it's game changing.
And it's not even just like art. It's like, think about how easy
Anything,
it is
yeah.
for people to home record now, like
Anything, yeah,
I
for
know,
sure.
I know that's like your kind of business when you're actually like working during the day, you do a lot of audio work, but like even me, it's like I suck at that shit and I can download Bandcamp and come out with like demos if I want to,
I mean, you in Bandcamp or Logic, you probably have more recording power than fucking the Beatles or Led Zeppelin ever did. I mean,
I don't
more
know
like
about I don't know
flexibility.
about that.
Yeah,
They
no,
had
seriously.
money behind them though, for sure.
Yeah, sure. And they had really great microphones and really great engineers and really great spaces and, halfway
And
decent songs to record.
access
But
to a lot more drugs.
yeah, definitely their drugs were way better. There's no
And
doubt about that.
they had like shamans and spirit guides. I don't have
Yeah,
any of
for
that.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. But the drugs, the drugs is really what. But all I mean to say is like they couldn't they kind of defined multi-track recording. Them
Totally.
and a number of other people who were like really advancing the agenda of like, what if we can record tracks discontiguous? Like what if we don't have to have everybody in the same room at the same time? What if we could record some tracks and then other tracks later?
Totally. Yeah, and that's what, like, I don't know. I get in that argument all the time because I know it's like sacrilegious. I'm like, I don't like the Beatles. Like, it's just not my shit. It's not
I mean, I'm the
not my
same.
music.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But I can at least like as somebody who's kind of in that like music world, I can respect what they did because yeah, it was some pretty wild shit at the time,
sure.
which is now just standard. But
that's what I mean. Like they really helped advance the agenda of making a record and like producing a record and really push. Like there's this famous story where I can't remember what album they're working on, but like they would sneak into the studio at night to inch the microphone closer to the kick drum because engineers used to want to place the microphone like 10 feet from the kick drum. And
yeah,
they did a lot of things. Their contributions to recorded music are great. My parents were super huge fans of the Beatles, but I never was.
Same.
I could never do it.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to listen to music about holding your hand.
Well, and when I was listening to my parents were listening to Magical Mystery Tour and they were showing me all these records. I was 7, so I wasn't tripping on acid. Maybe if I was 19 or 20 and eating a bunch of acid and listening to it, I'd be like, oh my God, this. But like, again, like what they were doing when they were doing it, that's why they had such an impact. And that's why that generation of people, they're so imprinted because they really changed shit. Records started to sound different after the Beatles were doing certain things. Not quite sure how we got down this road, but
I mentioned the Beatles, and that's just how it goes. But
all I mean to say is, like, with any DAW, anything that you record audio with onto your computer, you have the ability to multi-track with MIDI, you can create any sound. I don't have to know how to play a harp. I can just load a harp sound and pluck it out on the keyboard and I have my harp part,
I was fucking around with stuff where I just have a full orchestra and it's just like,
like,
I don't know anybody that plays the cello. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I should though. I feel like less cultured for saying that I don't know anybody that plays the cello. So, if anybody out there plays a cello, let's be friends.
Cello, it's a bass. Didn't you know that?
But, on the flip side of that, right? Like I said, there's just so much more access to these tools and the ability to do anything. And that's why, like all these kids that are, 14 or 15 have, millions of like YouTube followers and stuff because they just had access to all of that super early. And they, like and sure, they can go to school for it, but are kids even going to go to college anymore? I don't know. I don't think you have to.
I mean, I think, yeah, dude, for sure. How are doctors going to become doctors? You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to trust a doctor to get their degree online. Sorry. Like, no offense or anything.
University of Phoenix. You're just playing like Operation online.
Not going to do it for me, buddy. But, yeah, I mean, people, any highly technical trade is going to always require it. For shit like that, the classroom is like a relatively new development. Most of the time it was through an apprenticeship working under somebody. Same thing, most of the creative fields, almost any job in the arts is going to require some kind of apprenticeship, or at least previously did. It wasn't until very recently where like degrees started to even fucking matter, unless you're talking about like business administration of a theater or of a touring company or something like that. But that's more accounting and business management than it is.
And both
costume making or set building or whatever.
And not to dust off the apple on the shirt, but like both of us have degrees in arts, like music stuff. Like you've got like an audio engineering degree. I've got like basically like a music business degree,
Yeah. And what do you think about your degree, buddy?
I mean, for a while it was totally irrelevant because I just worked at the mall for like 10 years after I got it. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool to have like the know-how to do all of this stuff. Plus all that stuff has changed so long ago that I bet a bunch of my particular classes aren't even relevant anymore. And maybe even some of yours, the basics of your stuff probably is still relevant, but there's been so many
50% of the shit that I took. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the real base level of like, hey, here's what you do. Here's like, any of that like technical stuff you had to learn. Sure. But like any of the programs you used have all been updated versions by now a million times, and you just learn by doing, right? Like you learn from like hanging out with like apprenticeships, like you said.
Dude, absolutely. Again, even the shit that we were into when we were doing it, we learned things that benefited us, right? But it wasn't the knowledge that we learned in the classroom that benefited us. What benefited us was that we took that knowledge and applied it outside in our own bands and our own pursuits.
Like, bro, I learned more about like firsthand in the music industry. I really pulled one over on Middle Tennessee State University because I somehow was able to get, you can get like credits for going to work at places, right? And just proving it. I got credits for working at the Muse, which if anybody knows what the Muse is, it's just like, dude, just like a shitty little all painted black 300 cap. They said 300 cap. No, that's including the hallway in the front room, 300 people. But like, I got to work there and just basically book shows and do stuff. But like everybody there was drinking. Like it was like the Wild West. It was the kind of place where like hardcore shows would be happening and then there'd be a fight happen. And instead of security kicking both people out, you would just see the fight get pushed into the outside. And then whoever won the fight got to come back in. It was just very strange, but I got college credit for that. But I learned more from being there, like just firsthand music industry stuff, like actually like booking shows and like signing contracts for bands and like figuring all that stuff out. Cause like I'm not a book learner, and you can't be like, here's a book of how you become a successful rock promoter. I'm sure you can. Yeah, like written stuff, but like doing it.
No, but it's again, like that's the thing. It is still such like a lawless, ruleless pit of nepotism that the only way you learn anything is by getting that in and just getting the experience, and the whatever shit you learn in the books, it doesn't do you that much good, right? It's just information. It doesn't become like something tangible for you until you apply that information thousands of times and you begin to, understand how to do it well.
Totally.
The
nepotism of it all.
Dude, seriously, it's not just in the creative industry, but the creative industry for sure has its lines of nepotism.
Totally. No, I can think of like people that we both know that it's just, and we won't say their names obviously, but it's just like, oh yeah, like you got that job because of your daddy.
Yeah. Lucky. How lucky you are. But honestly, like we chose niche shit. Everything that we wanted to do, we chose niche shit. And I think I think we were ahead of our time in the respect that, like, you got to remember when we were graduating college was right around the time where shit like DistroKid and CD Baby were becoming used, TuneCore were becoming used and known. That was the first time you could release your music. You know what I mean? Like Pandora Radio was a new thing, right? And to get your music on there, they had to develop this whole extra channel. But what it did was it gave people the ability to release.
We went to school right after Napster just ravaged the music industry and just destroyed everything.
I mean, we went to school a little bit after.
Yeah, but it was like we were dealing with everybody was trying to figure out fallout. How to monetize everything.
Bro, I remember so many classes where my teachers were like, you know, this industry's doomed.
Yo,
it's like you're the teacher here.
Can I say something though? Just like now that I'm like, it's obviously like I play in a band and stuff, and we do like okay online and stuff, but like obviously no band at that level, like a small regional level or whatever, can bank on streams giving them any significant amount of money, right? I just want to say that I think Lars might have been right. I don't like Lars Ulrich from Metallica. I think he might have been right about some things. The way he went about it looked like a douche, but now look at this dystopian hellscape that we're in for artists trying to make money from music. Like you just don't make money from music unless you're a popular artist, like a pop artist, and that's it.
I mean, they don't even really make that much money off streaming.
Well, and once you like see inside that business of how it's actually cut up and like how, you know, like the songwriters and the producers and the record label and all this stuff like that, like you don't make, the only way that bands make money is like rock bands anyways, is from touring and like merchandise sales.
I mean, okay, look, there was a bunch of different things at play. Napster, LimeWire, all the Kazam, all of those
I participated.
Things.
That shit was exciting.
Of course, peer-to-peer file sharing decimated many of those industries. And that's okay because those industries were being greedy fucks.
Yeah.
Right? They deserved it.
Like $25 for a CD.
Right. Paying $20 for a goddamn CD that cost $1.50
with one good song
to
on
make. We're right. With the one single that they crammed down your throat. Right. It was just fat and bloated and overdue for a reckoning. Right. But the funny thing is that all the streaming services we thought were going to be the light at the end of the tunnel, but they still needed the rights from the music publishing or the record companies. They still needed the right to legally stream that, to legally have any song as a part of their catalog. And there was no way the record labels and Spotify were going to negotiate that in favor of the artists, because the artists are always the furthest downstream from the payment, even though they're the furthest upstream from the creation of the thing that's being monetized.
So I read about this, and I know that was like a big deal. Like I think this last year where I find like a bunch of artists were speaking out about like, hey, like every time you get paid on Spotify or every time you get streamed, it's like 0.00001 of a penny, you know?
Yeah.
So like you have to get, you know, X amount of streams to even make like $100. And, you know, there's 5 people in your band or whatever. Like that doesn't work. Right. And the way that Spotify works, like, is it's very weird. Have you ever like looked into like exactly how people get paid? It's very confusing, I think, for a reason. Like they want to make it confusing. So they give you money based on the amount of total streams that you have. So like let's say you're Drake or, you know, Beyonce or somebody that's like super huge. They'll actually give you cuts for the percentage of streams that were actually yours from their total. So when you're at that level, that's how you would get paid. But and obviously all of the major record labels have connections to Spotify, and you know everything's vertically integrated in some way, right?
Well, that's like an important part of the Spotify story that I think gets overlooked is they literally made contractual deals with the record labels.
Yes,
from the beginning. Everyone thought it was like free music. It wasn't free.
Okay, and you know everybody's saying, everybody always says fuck Spotify and all that stuff, which like I agree, but also like I still partake because it's free and convenient and it's got everything. And I also support bands, but I know a lot of people don't. But
exactly. In order to get it in front of X amount of people, there aren't a ton of options. Spotify right now is the one.
And I don't know how true this is, right? Like, but I was like reading an article. I'll see if I can find it, send it to you. It's actually really interesting. But I was reading this article where, it was like the height of last year when everybody was like, posting their year end stuff of, like their little like Spotify Wrapped thing, with like your top artists and all that stuff. And people were posting the one that was like, artists don't get paid for, like, and it was just very like infographic. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, but there was actually, and it could have just been for them to save face. They were just kind of trying to pass the buck, and they're like, hey, we actually approached major record labels about this to see if we could start paying independent artists more because of this. And like all the record labels, of course, were like, no, you're not going to take away any income stream from us. We're not sharing. Like this is the cutthroat music industry. Fuck you. So if you don't think that like labels are still controlling and, like really trying to hold everybody else down, it's legal payola is what it is. You know what payola is, right? Like,
for sure.
Like old radio station.
It's and dude, even the radio that still goes on the radio stations.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's just masked in this way to make it seem that it isn't, but it's
because it's all under legitimate business licenses and contracts, right? So it's not a guy slipping somebody an envelope full of Ben Franklin's being like, hey, this is the best song and you're gonna play it every hour on the hour, shit's
it still goes
crazy.
on.
So if you don't think that, major record labels are fucking anybody, you've had the wool pulled over your eyes.
They're still winning. They weren't going to hand over their fucking industry. They weren't going to hand over their entire profit model. Of course they weren't. But
again, dude,
it doesn't shock me, but
it's just going to further like get them in a situation again that like fucks them. You know what I'm saying? Just like something came out of the blue, like Napster, and maybe not. Maybe they might have it a little bit more airtight now that like this internet thing is a little more regulated. But like something will come along and like fuck them up for a minute again because they're getting greedy and then they're getting loose with it and they're just like, we got all this. It's fine. So I hope so. At least I love seeing some crazy shit like that go down.
I sure do too.
But I think Lars was right. Because once people found out that they could get everything for free and not have to pay anything, including like, and then, so it sucks. It's like, sure, Celine Dion, I don't give a fuck about, download that shit all day. She's getting money coming in from all these income streams, whatever. But people started applying that same logic to small regional bands that are like opening tours and shit like that, right? So then those people just make zero money because they, like they aren't making that much money in the first place. And then people just have started looking at it as an amenity, not like a service anymore, right? Like they expect to get free music now.
Yeah.
And they pay $10 a month or whatever, however much Spotify is, $9.99, I don't know. And then they just have access to everything. And if you don't actually like put your music out there, you're just not going to be heard in that sector at all, which is like, there's some bands that have done it. Like I know some bands that are like really popular on Bandcamp and they just push that and they're not on Spotify at all, which I think is dope. But also anytime that I ask anybody like, yo, have you heard about this band? They're like, no. But it's like a cult following kind of thing, which is really even harder to pull off, right?
Well, again, we're into niche shit here.
I am talking about
we've
like a battle power metal band, so
we're into niche shit here, right? So I think that's the other thing too, is like manage expectations, right? You're into a niche thing. You're not doing Drake numbers.
No, of course.
If you want to do Drake numbers, right, you need to take an entirely different approach to what you're doing, right? And I don't know if anyone needs to do Drake numbers. All I'm saying is
I should have been a rapper, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot more money in it.
If Mike Shinoda could do it, I could do it.
Here's the thing, though, he didn't do it.
I don't know. Linkin Park sold a lot of records.
Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
No.
Fell on my face in this dark place. I feel like such a disgrace.
Oh, that is rich. but I don't know, dude. I fuck Lars Ulrich. First of all,
No,
fuck him.
that guy for sure.
Fuck him. And honestly, he already made his millions of dollars.
Totally.
Like he already made his millions of dollars. Like fucking cry me a river, buddy. I don't care. I hear what you're saying about it, like eating into the profit margin for bands who are, you know, up and coming. But like, dude, that's what this shit is.
It's constantly changing.
And
You
it
have to
always,
adapt or die.
it's not even adapt or die. It's just always a struggle. Like this is not an easy path. It ain't fun. Right. Everyone sees the band and they're like, oh my God, it must be amazing to be in a band and play shows. And you see the show and the show is fun, but you don't see all the other shit that they have to do. You don't see all the other fucking work that goes in for them to show up to a place and get paid $10 for everybody and no drink tickets.
Dude, and what drives me nuts too is like, because of like the access that everybody has, it's changed the way people listen to music and their expectations of artists. Like, so for example, my band this year just came out with a like 8-song, like 30 plus minute album, right? Which is like, that's a milestone. That's an album.
Good. Yeah, it's pretty good metal.
I was at a show the other day, and then somebody was like, "Oh, when's your next album coming out?" Like, which is great. I'm like, "Thank you for wanting to listen," but also like, I just put that out in April. Like, are you like you're already done with it? You know, so it's like it makes you think that like you should take that rap approach sometimes and put out like 1 or 2 bangers at a time. You know, it's like, but I think that is like a metal thing too, especially for like albums, right? Because that's like taking a snapshot of the band at that time and where they're at. And that's why like metal nerds are always such like, I like this era, or, you know, I like the first album, fuck everything else, you know, I don't know. That attention span is what's like, coming from me, I know it's laughable because I have the worst attention span in the world, but like,
look, but you know, again, like we're not those kinds of people, right? I'm not that kind of people. I don't make, I make things to be ingested long form. You know what I mean?
What if we did though? Did we fuck up? Should we try this?
No, because we're doing niche shit, Clint, right? So it doesn't fucking matter, right? If we're trying to do Drake numbers, we can refocus everything and it'll be a complete shift. But we're not trying to do that. We're trying to do niche shit. And I think at some point in the future, once the allure of the instant gratification has worn off a bit, you will see people shift back to more long form, all sorts of media, albums, documentaries.
Well, look at like vinyl,
audiobooks. Yeah, no, it will come back around. People will lose, just like we get bored with everything. We're going to get bored with the short shit, and we're going to move back toward, there will be a much more healthy mix of long form and short form media that dominate the media landscape. And I think the important thing, just like we have always done, is we're just going to do what we do. I say this to people all the time. Like, I can't not do this. I can't not do this. If I tried to stop doing it within 1 year, I would be doing it again. It's like an addiction. I mean, quite literally, like we cannot not create shit.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
But it's niche, and as long as we always remember, like, we can't take anything that we're doing too seriously because it's niche. We're not trying to do Taylor Swift numbers. We're just trying to do us. We're just trying to do us, and if other people dig it, then cool. If not, also not a big deal, because I'm still going to do this anyways. And that's why I love the fact that we started doing the label and have now, again, like, we just led with that mentality, and other people are like, oh, cool, I can get down with that. We can put out a record with you. Like, that's exactly the kind of shit that I want to see. Like, I want to, if I'm going to participate in the creation of niche shit, why would I not want to team up with other people who are creating niche shit? So we can, again, the internet, to me, I'm not scared of the streaming. That's not my concern, because it was never going to be where an artist was going to make a lot of money. They're going to make a lot of money on their touring and their merch. And in our scenarios, we have multiple bands that don't necessarily tour, but we have created music that we're not going to support. And we just make merch. And that's the beauty of the internet right now. And that's the beauty of the internet in the sense that
I like bands that I'm never going to see live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what I'm saying. You and anyone can get on the internet and find this shit. And even if we never play a show, even if we don't even have a tape, like somebody might listen to it. And that's the fun part about doing something in a niche. It's that I'm doing my own thing. And if it resonates with you, cool. If not, it doesn't matter because it's niche and I'm going to do it anyways.
I think that's like interesting what you just said too. Just like, not that I'm like going to do it anyways, but it's just how the internet, like you can use the internet in a way that can like positively impact your reach of things, right? Like
Yeah.
anytime that we're like working with a band and they're like, oh, we can just do this. And we're just, I'll get our buddy to master it and like mix it and stuff like that. I'm like, does he have any credits? Like, has he done anything good? Cause like, I'm just trying to like make them understand. It's just like, you need to think bigger than being like a local band that's going to play shows, because with the internet, you have the potential for some dude in New York or Florida or Bangladesh or whatever to like hear your stuff. Why would you not make it as awesome as possible? Because it's on the internet, it's going to live there forever. It's not like a MySpace song that your band put up and then just died there because nobody had recording equipment back then, right? So nobody had their own masters and stuff, so it just got uploaded to MySpace and died when the site crashed, but it's gonna live and stick around forever, because or maybe not forever, but as long as Spotify and all that stuff is still rocking, and Bandcamp and all that stuff. So like, why would you not make it the best that you can and put it out with like the thought of it's going to be bigger than my local venue that we're gonna try to play? Does that make sense?
It does. And I just feel like it's just something. I mean, honestly, Clint, dude, it's a skill that you and I refined a long time ago. Like you and I have done this so many fucking times. We've got it kind of down to a regurgitatable science here. Like, we've just been doing this. We've just been doing this. We never were not doing it. We were always doing this. And we just got a little more organized about it. And it's been cool because we've met other people who are into what we're doing and are doing other cool shit. And we get to be a part of that too.
It's like Step Brothers, right? Like the part where he's like, can you imagine if we had these when we were teenagers? It's like, even better. We got them when we're 40.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Can you imagine if I had this setup that I'm using right now when I was 15? I would have made the most ridiculous shit, because all I had to do was just be a weirdo all day. Like, I didn't have to like put a face on and go to work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. We didn't have other responsibilities.
Yeah.
We could have just enjoyed ourselves. But see, then again, like when we were that age, we were in bands, we were doing music stuff all throughout college too. While everyone else was getting wasted, we were fucking recording and doing band practices and mixing and doing all the shit that nobody else wanted to do. This is just what we do. We can't not do it. And the exciting aspect of the internet to me is that, again, some random person who has found themselves into the same niche that I'm into, finds my shit and is into it. That is a win. That's, to me, personally, I would rather a handful of people who really gave a shit about what I was doing than Drake amount of fans who really couldn't care less. They're just there for the show, or they're there for the girls, or they're there for, whatever. They don't really internalize it. It doesn't really mean anything to them. It's just music that's on in the background.
It's not art. Like, at that point,
look, it is debatable. Okay. As much
as
it pains me, as much as it pains me to say this, Clint, it is debatable that as formulaic as it is still music. But art
it is still music, of course.
It's is the debatable portion of it.
I do like objectively bad music too, so I can't really say shit. But
I ultimately, I've come to a point after listening and working on so many different things. Music is music. It doesn't matter. Some of it's for me, some of it's not, and that's okay.
I try not to gatekeep shit too, because I hate that mentality. But it's like, anytime, like, I also, I can't get mad when people like stuff. Like, I think that's something I figured out about life too. It's like, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to put you down for liking something. It's
No,
like, cool,
fuck
you're not
no.
hurting anybody. Fine. Like, I don't
Right.
give a shit. Like,
Doesn't
about
bother me.
if you like this Taylor Swift song, awesome. But like, it's when people are like, this is like the purest art. And I'm like, that was made by like 15 people in a room that are making decisions about the piece in order for you to like it, and the most amount of people to
They
like it.
knew you were going to react this way.
Exactly, because it
They
was a
designed
formula
this shit
designed for this,
to
right?
make you react that way.
Yeah, and that's where I'm saying it's like, that's not art, that's a marketing ploy.
Sure.
But I also know some metal bands that like think that way too. But
well, you know, again, you know,
is baby metal art?
It's but to be fair, it's a niche and it works
totally,
because it's such an obscure niche,
dude. Yeah, and that shit is insane. If somebody is like, oh, I like baby metal, I'm not gonna be like, fuck you fucking poser. You know, I'm like, oh, I was like, that shit's wild.
I'm not gonna listen to it, but sure.
Yeah. If I got a free chance to go to the concert,
dude. If they were playing at a festival that I was at, I would watch a couple minutes of their show. Yeah, why the fuck not?
It's wild.
Again, like, I guess that's what I mean to say is like, anymore, nothing really bothers me. But when I create things, I try to stick to what I know. Right? I'm not trying to do anything that I am not equipped to do. The music that I know is the music that I create. Me trying to create music that I don't know would be really counterintuitive.
Am I allowed to mention the movie score that you did a long time ago that I helped out?
Hounds from Hell.
Okay, yeah.
You mean Hounds from Hell?
That just got me thinking about it. So James, I don't remember exactly how you got the job. I want to say it was Craigslist, which would be the funniest thing in the world. Use Craigslist. You can actually make it work.
Yeah, dude.
And I'll let you get into like more of the details, but James got this gig working on a horror movie for like doing the score and the music and everything. And he like asked me to come help out. He's like, yo, do you want to do some metal kind of like Limp Bizkit-y kind of stuff? I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So we were just like having fun with it. But I also remember that like that was so much fun for us because we got to step out and do something that we don't normally do. At least like, you know, like make like a bro ass Limp Bizkit just kind of movie, like pop, like, you know, click, click, boom, kind of like, you know, just action movie song. Right. And I just remember like afterwards, like you and I were just talking, we're like, yeah, like never gonna rap, never gonna try to rap again. Like we're never gonna do that. I don't know if you still have those files. Did that movie even come out?
Bro, I am pretty sure I still have those files somewhere.
Did that movie come out?
It's got an IMDb page. You may be able to find it somewhere, but I'm not sure if it ever got a full release.
It had Darius McCrary, who was Eddie,
from Family Matters, dude.
Family Matters in it. So you and I were like, yeah, this is
and there were a couple other people that are now like B-list TV and commercial actors that were in there. But it was when I got it, it needed a lot of work, and it was this dystopian future movie with like a portal to hell and
like dog fighting aspect,
dog people, weird dog people creature, and that was the dude from Family Matters, and it needed a lot of visual effects. Like it needed a lot of work. It actually had a budget behind it. Like clearly it had decent lighting. It had some visual effects in it when I inherited it.
And they got Eddie from Family Matters.
Yeah. They paid actors for sure to do this. And they had a fair amount of like it's funny because you can see the budget run out in the
you just know the moment. You're like,
it was an hour and a half, and the first like hour of the movie was pretty solid. Like it looked pretty solid, even though it wasn't like fully completed with visual effects and color correction and shit. But as it gets to like the last half, like some of the prosthetics that they're using to make the dog face become like less and less.
Just like they look like they got it at Party City.
Bro, I can just hear them on set. Like, we'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post. We don't have enough prosthetics for today. It's fine. We'll fix it in post. But I never saw the actual completed release of this thing. and that we had to do. I had to do. I got on Craigslist. They needed me to write a bunch of metal songs, and they needed me to write a bunch of like atmospheric shit.
Yeah. Just kind of spooky sound stuff.
It was like 10 tracks that I placed, and certain scenes had specific scores. And then at the end, I thought it would be fun as a goof to have a Limp Bizkit situation with Clint, and that's when I asked you to come. I was like, all right, come over here and do this just for the credits.
We
at
had
the end
so
of the
much
movie,
fun.
It was super easy. It was like it was super easy just because formulaic shit is easy to replicate. And honestly, we were also in like a strangely peak form because we were practicing and playing with Castle
we were playing in like
other
a death metal
bands.
band.
Like we were in top form so this was nothing to do. It was so easy, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm sure I've still got those files. I don't know if you want me to dig for them right now.
No, I just haven't heard that in probably I haven't heard that in years and years. I just remember we were like,
really funny.
You'd be like, yo, just try to do this thing vocally, and it was just like, yeah. And I just remember like us like ending the take and just fucking dying, like not able to. But
it was hilarious.
I do want to find the movie though, because I'm on the IMDb page right now. A pimp unwittingly opens a doorway to hell in San Francisco in the year 2179, releasing a monster dog and a demon bent on possessing a human soul. It sounds way cooler than it actually is.
Dude, yeah, it really is way cooler.
Either way, you've worked on movies.
Okay, hang on a second. Here's that was one of the first things I did, really.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna say that was a long time ago.
And to be fair, like it was cool. The shit that I wrote was cool.
No, it was tight.
Oh my god, dude, here's the movie.
We can watch it now? Okay.
Here's the fucking movie.
Let's just do a talk over of this next time.
Let's see if they even kept my score anywhere. Let's just see.
Or if it's like just a scoreless.
They sure did, baby.
Dude, we got to find the fight scene where that Limp Bizkit song is.
It's not the Limp Bizkit song is at the end, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Let me come.
I thought it was like a fight scene.
But this is the whole thing. It's an hour and 17 minutes. And then I have the trailer here too. This should be funny.
Very sick.
Oh, dude, it's so bullshit resolution. Let me see if I can load a... It sounds like shit. Whoever did the post mix on this does not sound good.
It was 2011, okay.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. This I guess it released in 2020. Or the trailer came out in 2020. Dude, if it took 10 years for them to wrap this shit up, it doesn't even look that much different. It looks exactly like what I had.
Yeah. There's no way they used the song with my vocals.
No.
Because it was bad. It was pretty bad. I feel like it was like when we did it, it was for like a fight scene.
It was okay. The song was for that fight scene, yes, but I don't think we used the ones with lyrics in it.
I don't mind the blood, man. You can't start a
Oh, is this the trailer? Oh my god, dude! This is so funny. This movie
like
is
the
just
dog prosthetics were just so.
Let me see if I can even find the fight scene. Oh god.
Like underground fighting, but the guy like barks like a dog and he has a fake dog.
Oh my god, dude, it was so. Wait, which scene was it? Was it?
I don't know. I would say, dude, okay, let's both watch this movie this week for sure.
This guy, he's in a bunch of commercials, and I've seen him in a couple TV shows.
Oh yeah.
This chick too. She's been in a couple movies and stuff. This was early in their career. Because, I mean, I probably got this after it had already been a thing for like 2 years. It's so weird, dude.
Dude, yeah. We're going to have to watch this on our own time.
It's so bad. Let's watch the trailer because it's really funny.
Something about this place.
This is where the former owner relinquished his claim on the property, so to speak.
I don't mind the blood, man. You can't start a new business.
What's this writing on the door?
This looks like one of those old-fashioned bomb shelters.
There you are, some bomb
Shelf is shut on the outside.
This inscription is a marker for what some ancient Chinese monks believe was a portal to hell. And now, for some reason, it's open again.
Shit, maybe we ought to get that thing closed up before something else gets loose.
We could use that door
I did not do this music.
there, but wait, that's the only thing between us and the monster. This door over here, but no, there's an android on the other side waiting to flatten you if you so much as blow on it.
Well, then how are we gonna close this thing?
It's gonna have to be a major explosion.
God.
That wasn't your
Dude.
song either, was it?
No, that was. It just sounds like whoever mixed this shit mixed it in a trash can.
Yeah, I was
that
going to
sounds
say. It sounds
fucking horrendous, and I'm personally insulted by how bad it
well.
sounds.
They paid you up front, right? So you're good.
Eddie from Family Matters, I thought he went straight soap opera and background character roles since then.
No, he was in
It's
Hounds
amazing.
from Hell, bro. Dude,
Yeah,
I can't believe
dude.
that finally came out. We got to watch that.
They have the whole fucking movie here. It's on Horror Central. The comments have. I watched it. I got into it. Not the big money buster, but it didn't need it. It's part of what makes it a good film. Really? Dude, no way people like this.
All right, it's a movie, but is it art?
Yeah, exactly. This is a collection of images that play back at a certain frame rate to imply motion. That is fucking hilarious, dude. Well, yeah, anyways.
sorry, I don't know what it just sparked in my mind. I was like, I haven't thought about that in so long.
But see, like that's what I'm saying. When most kids our age were doing nothing, we were doing that, right? This is what I mean to say is that like there's all this shit that goes into it. Even somebody like Drake or somebody like Taylor Swift, as navigated as most of their existence is, it's hard work. They're doing that 24/7. It is not an easy existence. And doing it in a niche is that much more difficult because there's zero fucking money in it. But again, we're not doing this for money. This is shit that we have to do. I was so desperate to do things that I was on Craigslist asking for things to do. This is just what we do, right? This is what we do, okay? And the internet has made not only finding the work easier, but it's made broadcasting the work easier. And I really appreciate, at first, I think people thought Instagram was going to be more relevant than it needs to be, but it's just the modern business card. And ultimately all the socials become that. LinkedIn, Twitter, they're all just, depending on what you're trying to do and what socials are relevant there, it's what says, here's my track record. It's better than a resume in some respects because it's got a lot more, day-to-day detail. Those are all those in my mind, and the continuation of us to kind of fold them into the global vernacular, that is promising to me. As niches become easier to discover and niches become easier to navigate, as more niches become, claim a social page or start building an online community, it just makes connecting with people who are into what you're into that much easier. And from our perspective, it makes it a lot easier in the sense that every band that we're fortunate enough to do a release with, they bring with them all the people that are into what they're doing. And there's a good chance that they might be into something else that we offer there. That was the whole point of us doing the label in the first place, was to have a place for us to put out tangibles for our releases and find other people who are into it and put out their releases too. And, sometimes it costs us money. Sometimes it doesn't cost us money, but we just have to do it. We can't not do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd lose my fucking mind if I wasn't doing anything.
That's what we have to do. We're creators. So, and we can say that we've come a long way since Hounds from Hell,
It's true,
since
but
since
it's
that
an
lowly rap rock song, rap rock
important
classic.
important milestone in our career. Rap rock.
Oh my God,
classic.
dude. I honestly, I want to see if I can find that because
It's pretty. I just remember it being really ridiculous.
honestly, it's incredibly ridiculous. Where would it be? Hounds from Hell, motherfucker. Fucking, what was it called? Big Dog Final Theme Lyrics.
This is it. Fight music.
Barely. Terrible.
Schizophrenic paranoid, so your life is null and void.
Wait.
Schizophrenic paranoid, so your life is null and void. Draining blood from others is my momentary joy. Back into reality, hell is chasing after me, so anything that's in my way will fucking be destroyed. Living for the ecstasy, cause my life is fucking cheap. Would you care to make a wager on the lives I take? Walking streets on black as nights, rumors my name might have light, so you should just start running because I'm about to break.
That's ridiculous, dude. Maybe I shouldn't have been a rapper.
Street light shining overhead. Until one you'll be found dead. Stripped of valuables and pride.
You sound like you're 12.
Bro.
Broken neck
can tell I
and
listen to Mike
stolen
Shinoda.
ride. Gushing blood and broken teeth. I'm a monster, I'm a beast. Fuck with me and you will pay. Bark or bite, this dog don't fucking play.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, the end of this.
Round into delicious mush. Fuck around and get crushed. Round into
Right.
delicious mush. Said, fuck around and get crushed.
All right. I take it back.
So stupid.
I'm never gonna attempt rapping again.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. But honestly, the reason it was so fun to do that, Clint, is because we were self-aware enough to realize how stupid it was. Like
Yeah,
we fully leaned into like, how do we make this the cheapest iteration of Limp Bizkit possible?
Yeah. I do sound like 12 there, though. You're right.
Well, but we were young. We were very young.
For sure. Wait,
Yeah.
like 20, 21?
If that, yeah. So
Oh yeah, I know we were super young. I think we were like 19 maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
2011.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we were like 20. I don't know. Either way, fucking wild.
Sure, whatever. We weren't that old. We were still in college for sure, or maybe just out of college.
No, I didn't graduate until. Oh no, yeah, I think we were just out. Maybe.
Yeah, we were just out. So again, while other people were fucking getting wasted and I mean we were doing that too, but we were also budgeting enough time to manage other shit. I don't know. That was really funny doing that, and I remember us enjoying it because we were self-aware enough to realize how dumb it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to rap anymore. I'm done.
Please don't.
I left the
don't.
game.
Yeah.
I left the game on top though. you know?
Sure. Sure. Let's go with that. Yeah, but again, all I mean to say is like, this is just, to me, the more we head into an interconnected world where the internet is constantly providing us avenues of entertainment, niches become less niche because they're more accessible, right? Before, for you to hear this kind of music, you'd have to go to a shitty fucking club beneath an overpass with a pizzeria in the attic. Well, technically a tattoo parlor, but also a pizzeria.
It was
you know what I mean?
A pizzeria, a jujitsu studio, a tattoo parlor,
right?
A pizza spot. Yeah,
right.
like yeah.
That sucked. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like having to go there to be the only place for us to interact with that. Like that, MySpace was such a fucking godsend when we finally got that. Was like the first taste of social networking and bands being able to put their shit up there on the internet for all to judge. That we're just going to get better with it. It's going to get better, and it's going to get more fair, and more people are going to come up with other alternatives that are equally as distributed or on apps that are widely used or growing in popularity. Spotify is only going to be the monopoly for so long. It's only a matter of time before some new form of thing comes in. That'll be a double fuck, because once whoever comes in and disrupts Spotify's market share of that portion of the industry, that will really fuck up the labels, especially with all like the Ticketmaster shit that's been going on recently. Fans are getting pissed. Fans. It has never been more obvious how the big industries in the entertainment and music industries just exploit the fuck out of the fans, and people are getting sick. And in my opinion, that will happen until people really get to the point where they're just like, fuck this, I'm going to go local. I'm only going to local shows. I'm only supporting local bands. I don't want any of the shit that these motherfuckers are cramming down my throat that it costs me hundreds, some cases thousands of dollars to go see live at a venue. It's just insulting. It's
I don't know, dude. I feel like
disrespectful.
People are always going to like pop artists. That's just the way it is.
Sure. I'm not debating that. But what I am saying is that
choosing to actually go to the shows and stuff.
There will be a scenario in the future where it flip-flops. People are going to get sick of wanting to go see a band and paying $700 for a ticket that should be at max $50, right? A lot of people are ultimately going to get priced out of that. And that combined with the exploitation of
dude, then at that show, like the only people who can afford those tickets, like you know the kind of dude I'm talking about, like just like the older dude who's just been into money, but he's also like, hey man, I'm punk rock, I own every Good Charlotte CD. you know, he's like what's up? But he just gets like super drunk, but he's like a dad, but he's cool dad. Right. Like those are the only people that are going to be able to afford to go to like the Blink 182 and Turnstile show.
But to be fair, like at some point, those bands ceased to be niche bands and became mainstream popular artists. And when you become a mainstream popular artist, that's the typical funnel that you're funneled into. People, with money who listen to what they hear on the radio. That is that realm. Very few people make it there, and you don't have to make it there to make a living doing what you're doing, or even, there's plenty of people that did not get radio play that cultivated a niche following that grew to the point to where it sustains itself. Like there's plenty of bands, plenty of bands that do that have done that. You don't need to do Drake numbers. You just need to find the niche of people who are into the shit that you're doing.
Totally.
And plug your shit there and just let them know that you're creating it. And if you let them know you're creating it and you're even loosely participating in the online niche communities, that's all that matters. Those people, the people who give a shit about what you're doing go further and ultimately will do more to support you than any one of the faceless billion listeners to Drake or Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about you.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. And they're not going to buy a t-shirt and they're not going to buy a record. They're just sucking the soul. They're sucking from the teat of the label who's telling them what they should be liking at that current moment. But you know, again, it's like I'm not complaining. That is what that is. We knew what that was back then. I could see it before I even went to school. I understood what that was, and I always knew that I didn't want to participate in that. I wanted to participate in the niche.
Absolutely.
We made those choices. We stretched our ears. We got our tattoos, buddy. We made those commitments. Like we didn't sign on. You know, I didn't pick and stick like Adam Levine. I didn't
grow this mustache for nothing. Yeah. No,
So
that's a good way to look at it. And yes, I mean they trust us, dude. Like, you know, I don't know who listens to this. I don't know. We don't like promote very well. We should promote more. But you know,
we will.
For anybody out there who like does this shit, it's like you just have to keep doing it. You just have to keep doing it until you find what works. And if it never works, at least you got to do some cool shit, you know, like whatever. Like there was like a point, probably like, I don't want to say like a few years ago, but it was like a certain point where I was like, fuck this. I would rather just like be a pop artist or something. And like, I tried to make like alternative rock music and I was like, oh, it's going well at first. And I was like, I hate this. Like, I was like, I don't know why I'm not playing fucking metal. Cause that's what I'm here to do. Like, that's
right.
Yeah.
It's what we have to do.
Yeah.
We can't not do it.
Yeah, like they started playing us on like the local radio and stuff, and I was like, "This is cool." And then I could play shows, and I was like, "These shows aren't fun." I'm not having fun. Like, I want to see like big idiots destroy each other. I want to see big meaty men slapping meats in the pit. You know, James. You know,
taking me
you know
back to the Muse. Throw a couple used needles on the floor, and we've got a Muse party on our hands.
And if you lose the fight, you fucking leave. You win, you come back in and you celebrate and you do it again. You hit somebody else harder.
Yeah. No. No. Please, no.
I think that's a good spot to. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, I just remember being in so many situations where I would see shit going down and I'd be like, well, see you later. Just walk away. Because I didn't want to be anywhere near it.
We could probably honestly do a whole episode of
we
like
should.
Shit,
we
because
really
like I worked there and I just saw so much wild shit and I was like there all the time anyways.
We should get somebody else. If we
Bro, I know people. Dude, there's some people that I know for sure like that might be dead or in jail, but like I definitely know somebody who could also speak on this in like a good way that won't be like too close, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah, let's do that soon because that would be fun as shit. Yeah.
Well, sick. All right. Well, anyways, everybody, chase your fucking dreams. Fuck what everybody
Follow
says.
Your heart. Follow your heart.
Fuck them all. Follow your heart. And just remember that when you are looking for totally legitimate business news updates, to come here to Totally Legitimate Business. That's what we discuss. We discuss totally legitimate business and only totally legitimate business. Check out Nuclear Dudes. It's going to be the new record on Modern Grievance. Modern Grievance 2023. Nuclear Dudes is the first release. All right, we'll see you later.
Ounce from hell.